Subscribe to this podcast to get exclusive access to the after show Shooting the Breeze. So today we have LeeMan Bassey. Bassey, is that how I pronounce your last name?
LeeMan Bassey, like Shirley Bassey, the singer.
Perfect. And he has the band, He is the Artist. You have a beautiful voice, by the way. And why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what God's currently doing in this stage of your life?
Well, I'm a Christian singer-songwriter from Central Islip, New York, and God is doing everything and making everything go right now in my life, and I'm very thankful for Him and that I believe, and and I'm happy that I'm spreading the word of God to everybody.
Yeah, I think that is fantastic. Do you want to share a little bit about your testimony and what your coming to faith moment was?
Yes, absolutely. So I used to be a neo-soul singer, a secular artist, which means a mainstream artist, like we hear on the radio, the mainstream pop radio. But I wasn't fulfilled. I wanted to do something more with my life, and I wanted to spread the word of God with as many people as possible. But I didn't come to that realization until one day I was watching the television and I saw T.D. Jakes, and he was preaching about the word of God and about love. And from that day forward, I wanted to commit my life to spreading the word of God, but through music.
That's fantastic. Yeah, music is so powerful. It reaches such a spiritual place, and it's a great way to fellowship with God and to connect. So I think that is fantastic. What inspired you to start He is the Artist?
Well, what He is the artist actually means God is the artist. So I definitely that was a prayer moment where I put that together. And from that day forward, that was my stage name. It used to be LeeMan Bassey, which was my biological name, but I changed it because I wanted to make sure people know that I'm committed to the Lord.
Yeah, and his work you're doing. Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your latest work, Boom Remastered? What inspired that, and what's that song about?
Well, Boom is actually about a dream I had where I had relations with an angel. So there's actually a Boom remastered, which is the religious version, and the Boom do-up version, which is the secular, like mainstream pop radio. Has a little bit of a '90s flair to it. You would think like Boyz II Men or those other really amazing '90s artists that has that kind of flavor to it.
Yeah, and your voice kind of is just perfect for that. It has that soul feel to it that you just kind of connect with. And
Oh,
you changed from being a neo soul singer, as you put it, to a Christian singer songwriter. So what was that shift like for you? Like when you made that shift, what was that like for you personally? And you explained already what brought on that shift, but can you just expand a little bit more on that?
well, yeah. Well, being a Christian artist in general is a really broad term for many genres, and allowed me to dip into different genres. But Boom, for example, is a R&B Christian R&B song. But I have other songs in my catalog that are of different genres, and it allowed me to explore different genres and still be considered a Christian artist because everything is that says the word of God or that is really preaching his gospel is Christian music. So it was actually a very easy and a very fulfilling change.
Yeah, I bet. Um, and as a musician, what is that like? What has that been like for you? Like either before when you were singing more your pop songs to now, what has that been like just being a musician in general?
Oh, it has definitely been a fulfilling thing, and it has been. I have different type of followers now, and which is people who maybe are searching for answers for certain things. We have COVID that just went on, and people are looking for answers and some type of direction during this time period because COVID took out a lot of people, put a lot of people in the hospital, and I've got a lot of people that are gravitating toward my music now, because of this time period, and because of they need something that is warm and comforting during this time period.
Yeah, yeah. So many people feel lost and alone. So definitely giving them music is a good way to help connect. Um, as well, I know there's a lot of pressures that come on with being a musician, and what has enabled you to be able to cope with those kind of pressures?
Well, definitely, there's a lot of, especially in the R&B field, there's a lot of, it's very sexually driven and all of these other things that I don't want to put in my music. But I just believe it. I have a very good moral compass, and I just keep on going, keep on and going and believing in His word, and there's nothing that can ever change that. So that's really what keeps me going, is God and what He has written in the Bible, and also my more. And it's not even just what He's written inside of the Bible. It's actually just what I believe personally, and what I believe is morally right and morally what I want my music to be about.
So for you musically, what comes next? Like, are you working on another song? You've already got another record you're working on, or?
Yes, I do. It comes out August 8th. It's called "God Is on My Mind." It's actually my first song that's actually that's actually what we considered a Christian song. Some of my songs did allude to God. "Boom Remastered" was my actually first song that actually said Jesus Christ and that type of thing. But this is actually my second song that is actually that really preaches what I believe. God is on my mind all the time. So that's a special one to me because August 8th on my birthday. So
Oh, cool. Was that on purpose that you're doing that, or was that just kind of just happened?
well, I have a very meditative feel to some of my songs, and there's actually a Islamic holiday called Ashura that lands on my birthday this year, which has to do with Moses parting the Red Sea. So it actually was all together that it's definitely, even though that Islam is not Christianity, but we do believe in Moses and him parting the Red Sea. So that's why I chose that date.
Yeah, I think that's really cool because it's kind of a special birthday present.
Absolutely.
So for you, how have you seen God at work throughout your career?
Oh, there's definitely been ups and downs in my career, even kind of making it to the chart topping iTunes songs that I put out. It's just been ups and downs. But you have to keep believing and keep believing until you get what you're looking for. Obviously, I'm not looking for numbers or like any certain specific numbers, but in order to maintain yourself as a musician, you still have to generate something. So, but I was never really, I never really felt pressure to do that. I kind of just followed course and just pray to God that it would all work out in the end, and it did. So.
Yeah, God has an amazing way of working things out just the way that they should be, and it's often different than what we think it's going to be. So
Absolutely.
it's cool to see success stories. I love that. And where can people find you and your music online?
They can find me on iTunes and like any major digital music outlet like iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, just anywhere on Tidal that you can find major artists and minor and independent artists like myself. Uh, just check those outlets out.
Perfect. And do you have a website?
Yes, I do. It's HeIsTheArtist.com, and just my name, HeIsTheArtist.com.
Perfect. So is there any advice you'd like to give to some young people who are maybe thinking of getting into a musical career, whether it's Christian or non-Christian?
Just believe in yourself, and God will make it happen if it's for you, and if it's in His will. I always say that because it has to be in God's will for your prayer to happen. So you just follow what He says, and and he'll make it happen.
Yeah, that's great advice, because yeah, definitely we have to be seeking God's advice in everything, and He will give you direction. It takes time sometimes, but He will give you direction, and it's interesting to see where He's brought you. And I'll be looking for your next work there, and yeah, maybe you'll have to come back on if you want to talk about your next work there too, and we can.
Absolutely.
So, are there any final thoughts you'd like to share before we sign off here?
Yes. To everyone, believe in yourself or nobody else will. The music industry is that type of field where where there's a lot of competition and you have to keep going. You can't cry on the internet like some artists do. I mean, you have to really believe in yourself. You have to really believe in yourself, and no matter what anybody says to you, you have to know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, those trolls will get to you and will make you want to stop doing what you're doing. And you have to find that strength within yourself to combat that and believe that you are important and you are, you are a person who is contributing the best that they can. So
Yeah, and I think that's great advice about people when they comment and stuff too. Like, know what's important to follow up on, and what you should just ignore, because there's always going to be people who hate out there. There's just going to be those people no matter what.
absolutely. But if you love yourself and you love what you do, there's nothing anybody that can say to tear you down. So, and I really want people to get to that place on the internet where they love themselves so much that no matter what anybody tells them or try to tear them down, they're okay because they did the best that they can. And and if other people don't like it, that's on them. So.
Yeah, that's so true. And I always say respond with love, and that's just the only thing you can really do is respond with love, and like you say, be confident in yourself and what God's doing in your life. So thanks for coming on and speaking with us, sharing what it's like to be a musician, because I think that's very, very interesting for people to hear. So thank you for coming on. Look forward to having you on another time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
All right. Well, I have just been blessed with so many people who are requesting to be on the show, and I'm impressed with how many people want to share their testimonies or what they're doing for the Lord right now. If I haven't got back to you, I promise I will get back to you. I look forward to speaking with each of you and interviewing you, and keep tuning into the show. There's lots of new people that are coming on here, and if you're considering wanting to come on the show, just shoot me an email at tpeters745@gmail.com, and I will get back to you.